Histamine is not just an allergy molecule. Inside the hypothalamus, histamine neurons project from the tubero-mammillary nucleus and act on H1 receptors to suppress appetite and increase energy expenditure. It's one of the brain's primary satiety signals. When a drug blocks those H1 receptors, and many do, not just any histamines, but antidepressants and antipsychotics, that signal disappears. The result is increased caloric intake, specifically toward carbohydrates, and a measurable reduction in thermogenesis through the sympathetic nervous system. Brown adipose tissue, which generates heat instead of storing energy, requires histaminergic input to activate properly. Block H1, you reduce that output. Mirtazapine, olanzapine, quetiapine, clozapine, all of them carry significant H1 affinity, and the clinical data on weight gain with these compounds is not subtle. Now add the second receptor, 5-HT2C. Serotonin, acting on 5-HT2C receptors in the arcuate nucleus of the hypothalamus, activates POMC neurons, pro-opiomelanocortin. Those neurons release alpha-MSH, which binds to melanocortin-4 receptors and signals satiety. It's a direct, well-documented pathway from serotonin to stop eating. Block 5-HT2C, you silence that pathway. This is why lorcaserin, a selective 5-HT2C agonist, was approved as a weight loss drug. The mechanism works both ways. Activate the receptor, you eat less. Block it, you eat more. Mirtazapine blocks both H1 and 5-HT2C with high affinity. That's not a coincidence. It's why weight gain is one of its most consistent clinical effects, and why it's sometimes used deliberately in patients with cachexia or severe anorexia. When both receptors are blocked simultaneously, the effects are not additive. The disruption to hypothalamic feeding regulation is more profound. You have lost the histaminergic brake on appetite and the serotoninergic brake on appetite at the same time. Energy expenditure drops, appetite increases, and insulin sensitivity can deteriorate independent of weight change, a mechanism that has been documented with olanzapine specifically, involving impaired GLUT4 translocation in peripheral tissues. On the thyroid angle, the connection is real, but the clinical evidence is still largely preclinical. Histamine neurons in the hypothalamus innervate TRH-producing cells in the paraventricular nucleus.
Animal models show that H1 blockade can reduce TRH output and consequently TSH signaling. Human data is inconsistent. What is documented clinically is the indirect pathway. Significant weight gain from these drugs elevates leptin, which over time can dysregulate hypothalamic pituitary signaling, including the thyroid axis. The direct H1 to thyroid mechanism exists in the literature. But if you're watching this and taking one of these drugs, the more relevant conversation with your doctor is not TSH, it's free T3.